Question is, do the Eagles trust Ringo? Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Dingbat here. What will the Eagles do at the quarterback position? This seems to be a very, very popular discussion amongst Eagle fans. And the rumors of going out and getting another corner, it just doesn't seem like it's going to die at any time. Why? Who the hell knows? But it's the truth. And here's what I'll say. The Eagles, we've got two giant question marks. Cornerback and safety. Will the Eagles have the right guys to go into this season starting at the safety? Could Mukumba actually start at safety? Or will Mukumba be just a rookie who's got to learn from a veteran that we're still yet to possibly bring in? Or is he going to be able to run with the job? Same thing with Ringo. Now, here's my personal opinion. The Eagles let Slay go. They let Isaiah Rodgers go. I think they believe Ringo can play corner and can start. And I look for him to take that job. I think he's going to run with it. They have an insurance policy with Adoree Jackson. Now, let me say this. I'm on vacation this week. Like I said in earlier videos, I'm with a bunch of Eagle fans. And we talked and debated and discussed the Eagles and the cornerback position. Some think Ringo is going to be fine. Others think, yeah, Ringo, this is going to be a problem. It seems like the fan base is pretty split on whether Ringo is the guy or not. We're going to find out once training camp starts and stuff. However, like I said, the rumors of adding a corner just don't seem to die. We talked Ramsey, we talked, a bunch of different corners. But it looks like there is a new name emerging, someone that the Eagles could possibly be interested in. Eagles could be eyeing trade for former first-round cornerback. He fits the Fangio profile. And who are we talking about? We are talking about Greg Newsome II. Now, here's the thing. Greg Newsome II, he's only 25 years old. Question is, can he come in and beat out Ringo? This is where I have my doubt. Here is what was said about the situation, right? Cornerback isn't a weak spot for Philadelphia Eagles by any means, with young stars such as DeJean and Mitchell among the team's talent at the position. Victor Williams of USA Today, Eagles Wire, got specific in regards to one potential trade target that could be in works for Philly. He says, quote, as training camp looms and the roster battles get underway, the Eagles could be monitoring Cleveland Browns cornerback Greg Newsome II as a potential trade target, Williams wrote on June 23rd, adding, Ringo is currently locked in camp battle with veteran Adoree Jackson for the number 2 cornerback role, while Cooper DeJean has solidified his place in the slot. However, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio is known for valuing multifaceted defensive backs, and Newsome's skill set fits the profile. So what would the Eagles have to give up for him? That would be the question. Secondly, could he even beat out Ringo? That I don't know. Now, I have no problem bringing in competition, okay? But if you're going to bring in competition, you bring in people that will challenge him. I don't know. I don't know how much he would really challenge him. But the one thing is the Eagles want DeJean in the slot most of the time. At times, he's going to be outside. The time you're going to see him at safety, you're going to see DeJean start to move over, move around more than last year. No doubt about it. And if they think that Ringo is an issue, I think they're going to have to go out and address that cornerback spot at some point. Like I said, they could have brought in Isaiah Rodgers. Minnesota paid a 2-year, I think it was 2-year, $8 million. So if the Eagles really wanted Isaiah Rodgers back, the Eagles, they could have had him. They could have easily had him. They didn't want him. They didn't want Darius Slay. They could have brought Slay back one more year. I think he only got $10 million for 1 year. They could have done any of those things, but they didn't do it because they believe that Keely Ringo is the guy. And when you look at the defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, when you look at Christian Parker, the defensive back coach, if they think that this kid can play, why should we think that he can't? I think Ringo is going to be good. I think Ringo is going to be way better than people think. And I think it's going to be an awesome thing. So, in my opinion, the cornerback spot is not as bad or not as big of an issue as people think it is. It just isn't. However, you do have to have a plan in case something does happen, it doesn't work out. I think Adoree Jackson is capable, but the Eagles brought Adoree Jackson in because they believe Ringo could beat him out. That's the main reason they did that. So, we'll have to see how that goes going further, into training camp. But we're not going to know. Safety, corner, we're not going to know those positions really until we get underway at camp and start seeing what these guys are doing in practice, seeing what these guys are doing possibly in preseason. How much the starters even play in preseason, we'll find out. But I trust Fangio, I trust Christian Parker, and I think Keely Ringo is going to be the guy. However, Newsome is a guy we should probably watch because, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Jair Alexander signed, Jalen Ramsey, those guys are pretty much not going to happen. So it would have to be somebody like this, somebody that gets cut, somebody that could possibly be traded during camp. But I don't think the Eagles need to really worry about it. I think we're good with what we have going in camp. And, I believe in Ringo, okay? Now, I say that being not delusional. I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm not as delusional as Mark Holmes. Just check this segment out from the other day.
Top four quarterbacks in the NFC East. Go.
Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Russell Wilson's too old. You get 5 years ago, Russell Wilson, he'd be number 2. But I think he's shot.
Okay, how about you, Mark?
The hard part on this is because there's such a small sample size of Jalen Daniels, there's probably going to be the sophomore slump, and he's going to have some problems with his receivers. Okay, so you're basically basing this off of one season. If you're going off of last season, you would actually say Jalen Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and then Russell Wilson. If you're talking about totality of a career, you got to say Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and then, of course, you got a question mark on Daniels because he only had one season. You have to actually move him back down and say, actually, Russell Wilson has had a better career.
What totality of career has Dak Prescott done better than Jalen Hurts?
Numbers-wise, first of all, your guy only has to throw 23 times a game.
That guy's won
Super Bowl 23 times a game. Your guy has never thrown more than 23 TD passes in a season.
You just cried like a baby.
What it would have to be.
You just cried like a baby that you wish Dak Prescott would throw less.
Okay,
did he not just say that?
Yes,
he just said, I don't want Dak throwing 4 times a game. Come on.
You don't, because it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more difficult when you're one-dimensional. I'd like to see what your guy would have to do. Actually, I'm not wishing.
You saw what
bad.
He does. You saw what he does, Mark. He takes them.
He didn't win a Super Bowl until he got a 2,000-yard rusher.
He came one drive away from winning the Super Bowl. He was there. Jaden Daniels
but did he win? Did he win? Did it count?
The first time, no, but he came
okay,
close.
All right. So he's got one Super Bowl win with a 2,000-yard rusher.
And your guy has how many?
He hasn't had a 2,000-yard rusher.
How many appearances does your guy had in the Super Bowl?
Doesn't have it.
How many in the NFC Championship? Jaden Daniels played 1 year and
has
apples
to oranges there, buddy.
Wins.
Your team versus my team.
Playoff wins.
Your GM versus my GM.
Jaden Daniels has as many playoff wins as Dak Prescott.
Take a look at that schedule going down.
Wait a second here.
Come on.
Couple last ones here, but
we judge quarterbacks by championships, by what they do in the playoffs. That's what matters.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, God. No. I want to be like the Eagles.
That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.